All right, everybody. Last video analysis for today. This is Coach Matt from Elite Throws Coaching and EliteThrowsCoaching.com. Guys, make sure before you watch this video, check out the links down below for our overnight camps that are happening this summer, as well as our one-day camps that are happening in West Virginia and in New York in the next couple of weeks. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel and give the video a like and click that notification bell so you get all of the updates of not just these videos here, but also all of the free educational videos that I do for throwers and coaches on this website. So this right here is another lefty, and his name is Kevin. Kevin just threw 60 feet, 60 feet, 1 inch with this throw right here at a high school track meet. So 60 feet is an incredible throw, but Kevin wants even more, as he should, as any good thrower should. Kevin, it's not greedy to want to throw that thing 100 feet. I know where you're coming from, buddy. You want every single inch you can get. You want this 60-foot throw to turn into 61 feet, 62 feet, and hopefully 65 feet by the end of the season. So I'm going to give you a few things. You said recently you changed up your technique a little bit, and it feels really good. It feels awesome. But you're wondering, how can you squeak out a couple more feet out of this technique? So, again, I know this is not the best looking, the best quality video because it is up on YouTube, and it was taken kind of in a vertical way on a cell phone. So it's not really the best looking video in the world, but hey, let's take a look and see what this looks like. So here comes Kevin. This is also in quarter speed, which is, I can't really do frame by frame on YouTube, but quarter speed looks pretty good. Boom. Boom. All right, so nice looking throw. Let's take a look again. Watch it a few times like we normally do. See what's going on here. So you can see another lefty. He's got that long right arm like we just talked about in the video with Lexi earlier today. Let's do one more time. Let's see. Now again, a 60-foot throw, we're not going to have a lot of really big things to work on. But whether you're throwing 60 or 50 or 40 or 30, it's all the same thing. It's all the same mechanics. Okay, so let's take a look and see what's going on here. So Kevin starts out in the back of the circle. I really like how he pulls his weight back over his left side. So you can see the shot is back. We're getting good separation. The elbow is back behind the hip. The shot is back behind the hip, and his right arm is crossed in front of him. Now from here, you're going to see, excuse the clicking, I keep having to click, pause, play over and over again. He does a good job of coming out with that right arm. So he's got a nice long right arm. Now what I would love to see, if I can get back to it here, what I'd love to see is in this position right here, I'd love for that left arm, for that right arm to be a little bit taller and to be a little bit longer. So as you see here, the weight, Kevin, is in between your feet. I want you to get your sternum and your head over your right foot a little bit better. What that's going to do is it's going to get your left foot off the ground a little bit earlier. So it's going to get you into the circle a little bit earlier and make the throw a little bit more efficient. The other thing that it's going to do is it's going to get you in a little bit better control and a little bit more balance on that right foot. And you'll see here, as you come along, see how your weight is sitting in between your feet? And you kind of look like you're going to fall into the circle. Like if somebody came and pushed you, you would fall right down onto your butt, right in the middle of the circle. See that? How you're kind of falling in? So your weight, your hip, and your chest is really not over your right foot. If we drew a line straight up, it would be like here. You want a little bit more weight on that right foot. So it's a little bit more controlled, a little bit better balanced. Right here, if you just stood up from your chair and tried to stand like this, you would fall right over because none of your weight is over that foot, over that balance point. Now you're able to not fall on your butt here because you're moving quickly, but I would want to see a little bit more weight on this right foot so that you have more control and it's going to just be a much better entry into the circle. You can see here as you're going through, See how you kind of lean in this way a little bit? You're kind of falling in with your right hip is kind of falling into that circle. You're kind of reaching down. We want to see a little bit more level, and you're going to get a little bit more level if you get more weight on the right foot. So just get a little bit more balance, get a little bit more weight on the right foot. Then from there, you can really accelerate through the circle because you're better balanced in the back of the circle. You're going to be able to apply more force. You're going to be able to go a lot faster and have a lot more speed as you go through the circle. So as we go through here, let's take a look at your right arm. Your right arm so far has done a beautiful job coming out of the back of the circle, whipping around to this point here. Now at this point, you want to keep that right arm moving all the way around toward 12 o'clock. So see this, it almost looks like a little, one of those like plastic strand of flags where all these guys are standing. You want to reach out and you want to try to grab that plastic rope, that plastic flag right there. So you want to reach back. What happens is your right arm actually starts to kind of reach forward and back and forward and back again. Watch. So now it's coming back, kind of sneezing into your elbow, and then it's up, and then it's down, and then it's up, and then you throw. So instead of doing that weird kind of stopping the right arm when it's over here at 9 o'clock, because you're a lefty, sorry, it took me a second. Instead of stopping that right arm at 9 o'clock, pulling the right arm back, pointing the right hand up in the air, and then moving the right arm again toward 12 o'clock, instead, let's try to keep that nice and smooth. So instead of that up, down, up, let's try to keep it nice and smooth, and let's try to really accelerate that right arm to create a lot more speed and a lot more snap on that throw. The last thing is the block. So that right arm, you're doing a good job of getting it out of the way. So right here, let's do a little bit better job of pulling that right arm in. You can see here the right arm is still out a little bit more. I'd like to see that right arm, that right elbow back a little bit more. So in order to do that, we got to open your right arm a little bit earlier. And again, that idea, see how your right arm is kind of sticking through right there? See that? That's kind of sticking back. Imagine if that right arm was back here pointing toward 12 o'clock. I think that's your right arm. Yeah, it's your right arm. So imagine if it was back, instead of it being there, imagine if it was back here. You'd be able to clear that right arm out of the way earlier. Okay, so at this point, instead of reaching here, your arm would already be around pointing at 3 o'clock. Okay? So try to follow the clock with me here. Your right arm is pointing at 9. And then you start to wrap that right arm. Well, at this point, your right arm should be pointing at 12. And then right here, your right arm would be pointing more toward 3. And then right here, your right arm would be pointing out into the middle of the sector. And then right here, your elbow would be all the way back behind you in a much better block. Okay, so you're at the point, you're throwing 60 feet. You're at the point where these teeny tiny little things about timing and little position stuff is going to make a huge difference. Okay, so again, same thing as we said in the video before this with Lexi throwing the discus, the left-handed discus thrower. For something like this, again, we want to really work on your right arm. That right arm sweeping out. That right arm is doing a great job. But when you get to the point where you are right here, don't stop that right arm. Don't try to pause there. Don't try to re-wrap it. Don't try to let it wrap around your body or throw it up in the air or do anything crazy like that. Let the right arm continue traveling around. So right here, that right arm is going to be pointing more toward 12 o'clock instead of that sneezing into your elbow position. So right there, you're pointing back at 12. Right here, you're pointing at 3. So see how you're like just a quarter of a turn late. Right here, you'll be pointing out at 12. And right here, your elbow is going to be all the way in instead of being out. So again, 60-footer, dude. Congratulations on such a huge throw. I know you and I have kind of worked back and forth little by little here and there, but I really love that you have taken to becoming a student of the throw. Really learning more about the technique, learning more about what you can improve, and just being a student of this event. It really shows the amount of hard work that you've put into this to get back over 60 feet. And I think you had a little bit of an injury during indoor season. So to throw 60 feet this early during outdoor season is a huge accomplishment. And you should be extremely proud of yourself. Keep up the good work. Keep working hard. Definitely do not coast into the end of this season, man. I'd love to see you out at Nationals throwing some big throws. We have a sophomore in Rhode Island right now that just hit 60 feet during indoor season who also rotates. He's a righty. You guys are just going to be pushing each other, I think, all throughout outdoor season. And I'd love to see you continue adding a couple more feet to this throw to hopefully get to that 65-foot mark. So that's what I got for you guys today. Please make sure there's a lot of links and stuff that I'm going to add into this video later on, especially having to deal with that non-throwing arm. So make sure to come back and check this video out at the end of the week. Keep coming back to this. That way you can learn a little bit more about that right arm, learn a little bit more about the non-throwing arm, how that affects timing, how that affects your speed and your weight shifting and leverage in the circle. That's the big thing you got to work on here, Kevin. But other than that, man, the throw is looking great. You've made some great changes to your technique. I really like the way things are going. And again, if anybody else out there needs the help, please make sure to leave a comment down in the comment section below, and I will help you out as much as I possibly can.